Examples of brotherhood are found throughout
thank you for
just
joining
about
me
every
today
sport that's
for this
played.
oral
But
presentation.
being a basketball
Quality of
coach,
character.
former basketball
Today I'll
player,
be
I
talking
tend to
about
lean
the
on
topic
basketball
of
even
brotherhood
more. For
and
my
what it means to me,
my impactful
personally, how I
examples of
define it,
development
and as
as a
well as
player and as a
some of
coach.
the examples
Coach K at Duke
that
was one who
define
stood out
brotherhood
because
throughout
his
sport,
tree of alumni, his tree
as
of
well as some of the
coaches
qualities that
were
exist
very,
within
very
brotherhood,
strong.
from
They had a strong
mentorship
sense
all the way
of who
on
they
to
were. They
how
were united at
coaches
every
interact
front.
with others.
They never talked bad
To
about
how
one
we
another,
develop
even
our
though they
student
had
athletes.
times
So
where they had to play
I look
against
forward to
each
deep
other
diving on that
beyond
here
college.
shortly.
There
And
was
as
always
we
a
begin,
camaraderie. There was always
we'll
a
start with
respect
what
and a
the
family
definition of
vibe
brotherhood is
within
for
Coach
me.
K's presence and what he wanted Duke
My
basketball
personal
to be.
definition of
Another coach who
brotherhood
stood out to me
is a sense of camaraderie
was
or
was
support
John
that
Wooden,
develops from
and his pyramid of success.
players who
It was
have
based on skill
been on a
development
team
largely,
that
and it
created
also
an
had
alliance that's
enough
rooted
other
in
things to do with
fellowship,
developing
and they're
a
bonded
total
through the
person,
development
a
of
whole
like-minded
person, individuals,
who
others
was
who weren't
well-rounded,
like them. They
who
weren't
think
just a
like
basketball
them,
player. They
and
weren't
set
just a student.
common
He
goals,
wanted a
not only for
well-rounded
the
person,
sport
and in order to do
participating in,
that,
but as well as
he
in
knew
life.
that his players needed
They have kind of
encouragement
like a
to do that,
likeness
especially for
within
those
who
their
were
development and their steps
around
as
them the
they've
most,
grown, which was their
I feel
teammates.
brotherhood is the
I
foundation
felt
of
like the
unity
teammates that
that
they had back
unites us. It's
then,
the glue
and
and
considering a
community
lot of the
that
adversities and
allows
things that were
community
going
to
on during
impact
those time frames in the early
our student
60s
athletes
and
individually,
late
as well as
70s,
us as
Coach Wooden
individuals.
kind of
And it's a
impacted a
shared
lot
value
of
system
change
that helps develop
to
a strong
happen,
sense of
and a lot of
identity
respect
as
and
our
regard
student
for
athletes grow and as
people
we
from
grow
all
as
walks of
coaches.
life, not just within
It's
his
based on
team, but
mutual
his
respect.
team
It's
represented
based on
what was
support,
going on in
and it
America
has
at
a
the
sense of
time.
belonging
And so it stood out
to
a lot.
something. You have
His
an
pyramid
identity
of success
within
went on to kind of
brotherhood
influence
with
other
those you
coaches
share it
to
with.
develop them and adopt them on their
As
own
a
path
coach, I want to
as
cultivate
coaches.
an
And it's
environment
something too
based
that
on
I've kind of looked at
brotherhood
and studied over the
because I
years
feel
as well,
that
that
it helps
it's
protect
impacted
to stay
me.
connected, and it
And
helps me to
lastly, one of my
stay
favorite coaches ever
uniquely
was Pat
ingrained
Summitt,
in the
Pat
fabric of what
Summitt,
our culture
being a
is as a
woman's
team.
coach, a
Even
lot of
beyond high
times
school, I've had many
wouldn't get the
alumni
credit she
students come
deserved.
back,
And
but
it's
she
kind
won
of
a
the
ton of
driving force
games
for them
and
to
she
want to
never
give
once took the
back
credit for
to
it.
the
She
next
always gave
generation
credit to
after
her
them.
teams
It also helped
who
provide
were
a great
built on
vehicle for
sisterhood. They
other
were
coaches
built
to
on
continue to
discipline. They were
develop
built
into
on
new
respect of the
coaches and
game. Passed the
respect of
torch
each
on that
other.
way.
And all she would do is pretty much hold them accountable to those things. And so those are some examples of coaches who install and instill brotherhood and sisterhood amongst their teams. As we know now, they were very successful, not just as winning coaches in game, but they were winning coaches in life as well. This next part within brotherhood, I wanted to really kind of take a deep dive because this was the part that it was very impactful for me. Brotherhood and coaching. When it comes to brotherhood and coaching, what does it look like? How does it feel for us as coaches to share commonalities with other coaches from other schools or other sites, sometimes even rival schools? We can learn a lot from watching. We can learn even more when we have relationship and rapport with those other coaches. Within coaching, I feel brotherhood is highlighted through mentorship, through collaboration with other coaches. When we face challenges together as coaches, whether that be league rule changes or just like realignment within leagues, or even like something as simple as getting together on what time to play the game. Facing challenges together helps build the bond of brotherhood and coaching. Celebrating other successes, hitting milestones, 100 wins for a career, or even, their first win ever as a head coach. Things like that are successes that should be shared by your comrades, and your brotherhood is developed in that further, as well as within open communication, talking about discussion or talking about issues that may arise throughout a person's career can help a lot when you have a more tenured and more seasoned coach who's more mature in the game. Kind of sit the younger ones down and kind of highlight some of the mistakes maybe they made to help them avoid the pitfalls that fall in coaching. So those are the 5 things that I look at: mentorship, collaboration, when they face challenges together, when they celebrate successes together, and when we have open communication about things. Within mentorship, coaches can mentor each other. They share insights, they share strategies, they help each other grow professionally and personally. There may be ways that they have to balance out the work-life balance. Many coaches are married and have to balance that out. How does your family thrive while you're coaching in season? What does it look like outside of season? What type of things can we do to make sure everyone is getting the proper amount of attention? And so mentorship goes a long way in those areas. Collaboration, coaches collaborate on training sessions. They may even share resources like practice jerseys, other basketballs, or sports equipment in general. It creates a team environment that extends beyond individual teams. Whenever rival teams or other schools come, we want to greet them. We want to celebrate them for being in our presence at our visiting home. While yes, we want to win the game, ultimately they're players just like us. They're ball players trying to develop and become as good as they can. Coaches who collaborate with people outside of coaching. We're talking at the college level, team chefs, strength and conditioning coaches, sometimes yoga instructors, even sports psychologists. The collaboration can help our student athletes grow and become even greater at their sport by collaborating with others. Another aspect is networking. Coaches use and have the ability to form strong professional networks. They go through conferences, they get invited to workshops or even coaching clinics, or even may choose to become a part of different associations, such as the National Association of Basketball Coaches or the International Christian Coaching Association. These are just a couple that stick out that are networks for coaches to be a part of that they can extend their hands out to should they need help with different things, get lasting impressions on different areas of sport that they can help improve their own programs with. Whenever facing challenges, you look to demonstrate solidarity amongst coaches. In particular, something that was personal to me, a coach that mentored me throughout many of my years in coaching had recently passed. The school that he was at wanted to commemorate him and had asked me to speak on behalf of him because I was a coach that they knew had firsthand knowledge of some of his background. And it was very vital that I show up in that capacity, for coach, even though he coached at a different school. It definitely demonstrated solidarity and what the community strength was in the community of basketball here locally for us here at Palmdale High. Shout out to Coach Parker. Lastly, open communication, having honest discussions about challenges, failures that have met, even failures within the program. There may be things going on inside of our programs that other coaches can shed insight on, and sometimes being available, being honest about them, and being vulnerable can lead to great advice being had and discussions being had. My next point, of course, within brotherhood and coaching, there's also brotherhood in our athletes. How does this work? What does this do? How do athletes develop brotherhood? They do this through team bonding exercises. They bond through the challenges that they face day in and day out. They bond through the adversities that practice provides. They bond through something as simple as a meal, sitting down and understanding the way that your fellow teammate eats. What type of manners do they have? What type of food do they like to eat? What type of things do they like to do in their alone time? Are they music, listeners? Do they like to read? Do they like to talk and have discussions? Different things and different experiences allow them to develop a sense of brotherhood. And teammates do different things. There's small cliques within the team. There may be grades that separate them. For instance, in high school, you have seniors and you have juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, the same way in college. Those seniors typically are looked at as the leaders, where some of those freshmen and sophomores are looked at as kind of childish. They play too much, but you need them around to kind of shed light and take out some of the seriousness in order for, focus to really set a tone and happen for us. So that's one way that athletes can develop a sense of brotherhood is through team bonding. Another one is support during adverse times, supporting your brotherhood or supporting your brothers or your teammates when they're going through things, a death in the family, an unexpected situation, maybe losing a job. So money is tight around the house. What this encourages is not only strengthens the team bond, but it encourages resiliency. How do you respond? My teammates got my back, so I can do anything. They can empower and encourage confidence. They can empower you to deal with your circumstances. As coaches, we oftentimes focus on the games and sometimes less on what is affecting the players as they approach the games. And being a high school coach, they're not men yet. They haven't learned necessarily how to compartmentalize. And so as they're going through this, support is definitely needed, and athletes develop brotherhood through support in adverse times. ultimately, as we look at what Brotherhood stood for and stands for within our different programs and sisterhood alike, Brotherhood is important. It's been important to me in my life. I got into coaching based on Brotherhood through a relationship that I had with a friend of mine I had known for many years, going all the way back to grade school. He knew every aspect about me, knew my parents, knew everything, and he knew deep down that I wanted to stay involved in this game. So there was an opportunity to coach, and I got into it based on Brotherhood, based on that relationship. It helped forge a new way of thinking, and it helped forge new goals to be created after my playing days, which allowed my family to thrive, allowed me to become an even greater coach in order to give back to the community that I serve. Brotherhood is one of the most important aspects of sport. It's what bonds our teams and bonds our situations and experiences together to be lasting. And in thought and in theory, I certainly appreciate your time, and I look forward to developing more as a coach and using the quality of character of Brotherhood to enhance our sport and move it further along. Thank you.